Hello everyone, welcome to my channel ASP.NET Core, and today we are going to show you a book rental project. And in this project you can see that lots of books, but the similar book just repeated in the 4 times, so there is no issue. But here we have a different books. So the book is actually have a title and the description, and lots of information about the book is actually mentioned in the database table. Also, you can see in the top right corner where we have register and the login button. Also, here we have a rental status that is checked by the user. Okay, so that is the detail page of the book project. And here we have in the right panel, you can see in the book descriptions, and or you can say that book details like the product details, ISP and publisher, publication date, product dimensions, pages and prices. And also in the left panel, you can see in the book and the page and actual price of your book. But if you create your book, then rental price is also visible. So in the next video, that is the after login by the admin, that lots of options will be available for your admin, that is manage book by their adding the book like create new book, ISP and title, availability, price and the genre name, that is the category name you can say. So here we have a form that is to register your book, that ISP and title, author, description, image URL, availability, price, added date, added genres ID, publisher date, pages and product dimensions. The next screen you can see that here we have a genres information about the book, that is the genre ID and the genre name. So when we create a new genre, just click on the create new button and you will just add a new genre. Also here we have a edit, detail and delete button also there, and in the top right corner where we have a welcome admin and logo button is also there. When we press the logo button, admin will be redirected to the, or you can say that any user will be redirected to the login button. Okay, so here we have a CMS option and the rental status also there. So the next thing is create a new genre by their panel name. So just create new, and after that here we have a membership also. So just assign the membership, that is a name, sign up fee, rental rate and the charge rate in the 6 month, okay, or the 1 month you can say. The next one is to add a new membership like name, sign up fees, a rental rate, charge rate, 6 month, etc. The next one is the manage users, that is the customer you can say. The first name, last name, email, phone and birth date are displayed in the table format, and edit, detail and delete button is also visible. The next one is the book rental portal. So here we have a name, email, title, start date, scheduled end date, rental price, rental duration, status, etc. So here we have a lots of options are there for the book rental portal. So if any user just going for the rental, then start date is also added into the database table. Also scheduled end date, that is 1 month or the 6 month. So the rental duration is 1 month or the 6 month. Rental price is also visible, and the status is also visible, that is the requested, pending, approval and the posted. Okay, so these are the options available by the for the user, and just approved by the admin only. Okay, so here we have this in the right corner, you can see that the cross and the check mark, that is to visible, that is the user information, rental information. Okay, let's start it with the book rental app project. So here I'm going to just add ASP.NET Core web app model view controller template. Just right click to next and give it the name of the project. That is the book rental project. So book rental project dot, you can say that is the web project. So here we have book rental project dot web, and just I'm going to give the name, that is solution name, book rental project. Okay, so after that we will to put it, that is the next button and resolve your problem, and that is the first project in your solution. And just I'm going to use .NET 7.0 standard team support. Okay, so here we have you know that in the PowerPoint presentation where we have in the top right corner, here we have two registration and the login button is there. Okay, so that is just storing the information about the user, you know that. Okay, so just I want to store the user information in the form of the identity. So you can you can use identity instead of any other information about the user. So you have to use, okay, so just divide the project first of all in the layers. So add a new project, and that is the class library project, and the class library, that is the book rental project dot entities. And here we have that entities are these. So here we have a class 1, that is the by default entity here we have. So just delete this one, and after that book rental project dot entities, here we have just add a new entity. So new empty file, and here we have to just add application user. And application user is inherited from the identity user class. So here we have identity user class, and identity user is actually existing in Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.identity.entity framework core, but this package is not reflected here. So just add from the NuGet package, and the identity package. So just add, that is the package name, that is Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.identity.entity framework core. So that package is used to add for the application user. But and you know that lots of packages are deprecated, so must be careful about the packages. So here we have Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.identity.entity framework core. So accept this package and resolve the issues which is related to identity user. Okay, after that resolve your problem completely, and just I want to add a username as well as full name of the rental user. So prop, that is, you know that application user is also a customer, so have string full name and make it that first of all nullable. And the next one is prop string city, that is make nullable. And the next one is address string address, okay, also make it nullable. The next one is, that is the application user. The next one is to define the new project under the book rental project, that is repository project. So add a new project, and the project name, that is the class library project, and here we have just add, that is book rental project dot repositories. Okay, repository only, and just create it. Okay, so here I'm going to add the new repository, that is just remove that class from here and add a application DB context is right there. And application DB class is inherited from the identity DB context. And you know that identity DB context is inherited from application user. Add reference to book rental project dot entities. Okay, and identity DB context is actually existing in Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.identity.entity framework core. Okay, so everything is fine. Now just add a new package ctor, and that is DB context options, and in which you can just pass application DB context. And here I'm going to add options. colon base class of options. Okay, now after that we will go for the next step, that is to create a connection string in web project, that is inside in the app settings.json file. Inside your app settings.json file, here we have connection string, and inside the connection string you have to create, that is default connection, and the first parameter, that is the server name, and here I'm going to add local db ms sql local db. The next parameter is database name, and the database name is, that is book rental project db, and the next parameter is trusted connection, that is true, and the next parameter is multiple active result sets equals to true. Okay, so everything is fine, I think. And now register this connection string in your startup file, that is your that is a program.cs file, and add a dependency right there. So here I'm going to add builder.services.add db context, but db context is not right there, so add db context, and inside it you can add application db context. Okay, so now add db context is just use book reference, that is repository that is actually available application db context right there, so automatically the result, that is add db context right there. Now after that we will pass the options right there, and here I'm going to option dot use SQL server, and inside the SQL server here we have builder dot configuration dot get connection string, and the connection string name is default connection. Okay, so here we have the use SQL server, so must to add SQL server namespace right there. So just right click on their name and add manage NuGet package, and the project package name is SQL server. And here I'm going to add SQL server, that is Microsoft.Entity Framework Core.SQL server. Install it. Okay, your SQL server is installed successfully. Now after that, go for the program.cs file and resolve your issues. Just control dot on your red squiggly line and resolve your problem, that is using Microsoft.Entity Framework Core. So everything is fine. Now just go for the next step, that is to add identity in your web project. So here I'm going to add identity, so just right click on your project name and just scaffold item, and here I'm going to add identity here and just add the identity right now. It will take time to resolve the identities scaffolding. Okay, so override all files. Each files are actually discussed later videos, so must to use override all files. And after that db context is right there, so just create a new db context and use SQL server, that is application user. Just click on add button. It will take time to installing NuGet packages for related to the identities. So here that installing Microsoft ASP.NET Core .identity.ui package to resolve the Razor pages UI. So here we installing NuGet packages. This may take a few moments. So wait for some times. And here we have Microsoft .ASP.NET Core .identity.ui package. So finally, identity is added into your project. So just right click on your project name and just resolve your problem related to identity. Okay, so now after that we will see that PowerPoint presentation. Here we have create a new book, but during the creation of the book, here we have used genre ID, and genre ID between the relation between the book and the genre ID. Here we have many to many. So genre ID, here we have romantic books. Okay, so one to many I will consider it right there. So that table is related to the genres. So and that part is actually related to the admin. So just I'm going to create a new area for your application right there. So add a new, oops, actually just I want to add a new area instead of a new directory. So just remove the created directory and add a new area. So here we have area name is not defined right there. New item is there, but area name is not defined right there. So here you can see that area is already created. So just right click on the areas folder and add a new area and add a MVC area first. And just after that, you have to specify the area name, that is admin. Okay, so there was a running the selected code generated failed to build related errors. So just resolve the build error related problem first. Now just going for the solution, and here we have to rebuild the solution. Okay, so here we have single error in the project. And what is the error actually? Yeah. So here we have the application user is not defined right there. So application user is actually existing in during the book rental project entities. Okay, so save this, and you know that everything is fine. Okay, so just use the next one, that is add genre. You know that. So here we have a genres related areas. Just I want to add admin area. So just right click on it and name area, MVC area, and that is admin. So here we have admin area related to that specific features. So just I want to add, if you have area in your application, so use endpoints routing right there. So just go for the program.cs file, and here I'm using to use area instead of this. So use endpoints, and use endpoints, just use just things. So just Control X and edit here. App use, so just map this with the endpoint, so use this. and disable warning for use hash pragma warning disable, and the package this that is not related error, and your warning is disabled right now. Okay, so now the second one area is the customer area, so just add a new one area, and the second one is customer. Okay, so here we have a customer area is also created. So just now to go for the admin, and here we have a data and the model folder is there. So just delete both from both areas. Okay, and instead of the area, you have to create a new view model instead of the model. Okay, so later this I will add it here. Now the next one is to create a genres. Okay, so here I'm going to add genre services related to this. So before going to repository, just I'm going to add a generic repository right here. Okay, so just add a new generic repository, add a new empty file, iGeneric, iGeneric.cs, and here we have a interface iGeneric, and that is the type of T, and T where T is a class. Okay, and here I'm going to add basic things behind the areas, so just use this and make it taskable type, task, that is task, and just delete this. Save your savings right there. Okay, so everything is fine. Now just go for the next thing, that is generic repository, and in future I will add it more about the generic repository right there. Okay, so here we have object, that is make it entity, that's fine name, delete by id, delete by entity also, so make it here t entity. Okay, get by id by the id, and also you can use asynchronous task right there, so both are the asynchronous instead of synchronous. Okay, and the next going for the iGeneric implementation right there, that is implementation, and here we have a generic.cs. Okay, and that is make it template type, and inherited with iGeneric, and iGeneric is a type T, and that is a class. Okay, now save this, and here I'm going to add application DB context and as well as the DB set. Okay, so later on I will discuss it. So here we have a generic, and just I'm going to add the new one, that is iGenera service, and that is not related to the Genera service. So because just get all, get by ID and get all, it's related to the service related part, so there is no issue to add it here. I'm just going to add a new project, that is services, and both that is the class library project, book rental project dot, that is services. Okay, so now go for the next step, that is just first of all delete this part, and just I'm going to add two services, that is book related service as well as the that it's related to the agenda service. So here we have a services part. Just add a new service, that is iBook service.cs and iGenera service. Okay, so here we have a iGenera service and the iBook services. Okay, so implementation is right here. And here I'm going to add the new one thing, that is the inside the controller values. So here we have a generic repository, so just I'm going to add iGenera service, and if you go for the related to the identity part, so just go for that next step, that is areas folder, and here we have controller and views. But you notice that here we have also a one area, that is identity. Just remove that part from here. Okay, and just after that go for the program.cs file and resolve the identity issues, that is the application DB context right there. Okay, the next step is to remove the part from here. Okay, and there is the default connection. Every step is clear. Now just go for the app settings and remove the connection string, that is duplicate connection string from here, and that is created during the identity configuration. Okay, so everything is right. Now the next step is to do, that is Genera services. Okay, so just go for the repository section, and here I'm just going to add iGeneric repository. Here we have taskable type, enumerable type T, get all, get by ID, insert, update, and delete. All these things is there. And now just I'm going to add expression size there, and get by ID is related to integer types. So that is the part of things. Just I'm going to add, that is expression, and expression, that is function, and inside it we can take a type of T, that is the object type, and just return type, that is boolean. And here I'm going to add filter, that is type null, that is the by default expression. And also the same thing we can do, that is inside in the get all function. Okay, and also here we have relationship data. Just I'm going to add it here, that is orderable queries and includable queries and tracking details also. Okay, so that's the part is simple good. And just I'm going to add mapper also in the project. So in the web project, just I'm going to add mapper. So just right click on it, add manage NuGet package, and here we have AutoMapper, and here I'm going to add this package, also with this package. Also I'm going to you can see that that is installed, and this is also installed. And just I'm going to configure your mapper in the program.cs file, and here we have where config equals to new AutoMapper dot mapper configuration, and here we have a new AutoMapper dot mapper configuration. and just I'm going to add CFG configuration dot map profile, CFG dot add profile, and in the profile that is new AutoMapper profile. Okay, and okay, just I want to that after that we will create a mapper, that is where mapper equals to config dot create mapper, and now just after that builder dot services dot add singleton in the mapper. So just add this profile, add mapper profile inside there. So add a new mapper, and add a new AutoMapper profile, add a new, create a new class .cs, and inherited with the profile class also. So that is ctur, and here we have there is profile class. Okay, so everything is clear. Now also add a new one thing, that is extension methods. Also resolve this problem first, and exception extensions, just add a new folder, that is extensions, and also here we have to add the new item, that is the extensions, and just I'm going to add mapper profile extensions also there, that is the middlewares, and just after that also add tag helpers. Okay, so these things are actually added in the project, and wait for some times, I will do it in the later. Thank you very much for watching this video.